The Citadel used to be in Calver's space. Now they're dead, Gar said. Who owns the space now? Shar asked, an uneasy feeling growing within his stomach. Destune. A silence filled the room. Destune's space was dead space. Literally. The Destune people were mostly dead, brought back to life by machinery and what some called black magic. Highly religious as well. It made sense that they had decided to call the Citadel their home. No one goes into Destune territory and comes out alive, Yila said. That's true, but we haven't tried yet, Bo said. Shar looked to the woman he was beginning to care deeply about and was impressed when he could see the steely resolve spread through her features. When do we go? She asked. When are you ready? Bo asked. Now, Yila said, and the old fat Zaytarian smiled and nodded. How about in the morning? Bo asked, and Yila conceded. Shar woke early in the morning. There was one small window in the living quarters, and the sky beyond was still dark. Shar sat up and rubbed his eyes, looking over to where Yila had been sleeping without even realize he was doing so. She was gone. Shar's heart thundered in his chest without warning. Where was she? Was she okay? Had someone come for her? He laughed a little and forced himself to calm down. It had been so long, the war, that he didn't know what to do with himself now that things were winding down. Who would have come for Yila? Who would have taken her? He stood and pulled pants and a shirt on and then stepped quietly outside. Can't sleep? Yila said before he even saw her. He turned around quickly. She laughed. Up, she said, and he craned his neck to see the bottom of her bare feet, swinging inches above his head. She was sitting on the edge of a low roof, lower at the end of the hangar where the living quarters were. How'd you get up there? He asked. Strength, she said with a grin, and he jumped lightly to grab the edge of the roof and then pulled himself up to sit beside her. What are you doing up here? He asked. She grinned again and lifted a clear bottle she'd been holding between her legs. A yellowish liquor swirled in the bottom of the bottle. Tell me that wasn't full when you got up here, Shar said, taking it from her and taking a swig. Half full. I'm not a total drunk. Just a sort of drunk, Shar teased, grimacing as he swallowed the acidic alcohol before he spoke. Yeah, just sort of drunk. Fib was the one who could really drink. Oh, I know. I saw it firsthand. Yila sighed. It seems like you got to spend more time with her than I have in the last few years. That's probably true, Shar admitted, but I'm sure she would have replaced me with you in a heartbeat. That's definitely true, Yila said, and they both laughed. I miss her, you know, Shar said. It's important that we get her back. Yila smiled. I miss her like crazy. I keep thinking about this time. It was right after our parents died. I was only 7 and she was 11, and we were worried we would be separated. We didn't have any other family, and we were going to have to be given to a foster family, and if they couldn't find one to take us both, well then that would be it. I was scared, and I think she was too. But she was trying to be the big sister, trying to be the one to hold it together. So she gave me this rock. It was just a rock, but it was smooth and kind of shiny. And to a small child, it looked magical. She gave me the rock and told me that if I ever missed her or wanted to talk to her or something like that, I just needed to hold the rock in my hand and say her name. And she would be able to hear me. She couldn't talk back because she only had the one magic rock, but she would hear me. That's cute, Shar said with a sad smile. Yila reached into the pocket of her pants and pulled the rock out. I still carry it everywhere I go. Shar didn't know what to say, so he took another drink of alcohol and watched as the young woman stared down sadly at the rock in the center of her palm. Eventually, she cupped her fingers around the rock and slid it carefully back into her pocket. Then she looked at Shar. I have to get her back, she said. We will, Shar promised. Silence overtook them, and a howling wind blew through the night, making them both shiver. But neither wanted to leave the roof and go back inside the cramped living quarters. Shar looked over to Yila and was surprised to find she was staring at him. She leaned over then and pressed her lips to his, and he returned the kiss. As they kissed, their lips parting and their tongues dancing, Yila reached over and took the bottle from him, setting it off the side and climbing onto his lap, her knees on either side of his thighs, so that she was facing him. He was the one who broke the kiss, and then his lips were at her sensitive throat. She tilted her head back and moaned as he nibbled her heated skin, planting wet kisses after each bite. The heat of their bodies made was enough to stave off the howling wind, and when Yila lowered herself closer to his body, she could feel that he was hard. his thick erection pressing against her crotch, where a warmth had begun and radiated out. If she went all the way, he would go with her, she could tell. She broke the kiss off, pulling his hair so his lips left her neck, and she climbed off his lap. It was too much. What was she doing? She really did like Shar, but she didn't want to fuck him on a roof. If they did that, she wanted it to mean something more than both of them just coming. "I'm sorry," she said, looking over to the man, worried that he was mad. "It's fine," Shar said with a smile, then reached for the bottle and took a large drink. Yila couldn't help but laugh.